Donald Trump unusual redeeming qualities in Costa Rica. My story involves a cab driver called Pollo, a New York gangster, a Florida construction hotshot, a millionaire from New Jersey and future president of the United States, Donald Trump. The initial three used to visit Costa Rica in the 00s when my friend Pollo was their cab driver. He moved them around, party to brothel, beaches, casinos and trips with young ladies around the clock. One day my friend Pollo received a call from his client Matt saying he recommended him to a very important person, but also adding a new word to Pollo's vocabulary, mogul. Later my friend Pollo received a phone call from a lady with a thick East European accent and was told to wait for, what he heard, Mr. Trunk. So here he was, with his high and thigh cut, blue eyes and a sign that erroneously said Mr. Trunk, standing outside the airport in Costa Rica, when a tall and well-dressed man approached, startling him for getting so close without calling his attention. Given my friend's lack of curiosity for celebrities, the recognition expected by his client never happened and an awkward silence ensued. After a few moments Mr. Trump acknowledged him as his client, so my friend went for the bags and escorted him to the van, a 2003 Hyundai Grace. If things started with the wrong foot, they just went down from there. Mr. Trump was frustrated because his girlfriend's airplane was delayed, so he vented in a now familiarly known form, calling my proud nation a shithole country, to what Pollo, no strange to profanity and slang, proceeded to defile Mr. Trump back with reminiscences of his mother and grandmother's sexual prowess, his corrupt place of birth and the sins of his fathers, plus the one remark that baffled Mr. Trump, redneck. For this Mr. Trump was no shy in abusing his cab driver back with appropriate American profanities and a healthy dose of condescendence, where Mr. Trump would argue he could lift my humble Costa Rican cab driver friend to wherever he desired, and the other retorting with mockery at the offer of a life of luxury enslavement. Half playfully and half seriously and through a meticulously gentleman escalation, they went about insulting each other in the more creative ways for 15 minutes until, bored by the redneck remark, Mr. Trump instructed my friend to wait at the airport gate for his girlfriend arrival. During the ride from the airport to the hotel, they both engaged in more verbal abuse, but procuring to keep it down and in Spanish so the lady wouldn't notice they were calling each other mother-s whores, even hushing foul words between them while carrying the lady's luggage. After they left her inside the hotel, with a smile and a pat on the shoulder, Mr. Trump asked our friend Pollo to agree to meet the next day, to what Pollo refused in the most exalted of ways, with two fingers up front and a fuck you in his mouth, before and after receiving his $20 pay for the ride. Hours later at home, Pollo received a call from his former client and brothel aficionado Matt, who asked about the situation with his mobile friend and suggested to reconsider the decision. Pollo was as stewborn as usual and even through a few more phone calls had to express his refusal to serve Mr. Trump again. The next morning another call told him that Mr. Trump was waiting for him, to what he answered, "Que se quid esperando, so he keep waiting." It was not the first time Pollo had refused to follow certain paths in life, starting as a radio operator in a taxi cooperative, officer in the transit police and driver to the director of police, where he refused to continue to drive, exposing his life in high-speed, high-fog madness during presidential escorts. Now, before we expose another redeeming quality in Mr. Trump, let us remind the adventures of Matt, Trump's acquaintance in common with Pollo. They include some episodes with a New Jersey real estate millionaire, a well-off Florida construction guy and a New York mobster, plus Costa Rica's most prominent whorehouses, like the now-defunct Hotel El Rey, loads of cocaine and buzz, undocumented ladies, late-night parties and fishing boats. So why would a sober and accompanied by his girlfriend Donald Trump call a friend to call a humble cab driver in Costa Rica to reconsider his position? Not for the buzz, the women or the smoke, but for the stories the cab driver had with his friends, his reliability also, we argue. Inquired on this episode, Pollo acknowledges some fun on the exchange, a wounded pride, and his refusal to take humiliation as a job requirement. It seems Mr. Trump is better about this.